Hey everyone! Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Around the World with Ashley. Today's episode is all about me sharing my top 5 tiramisu with you, and I'm excited for you to see it. So I don't like coffee, right? Kind of weird for a tiramisu ranking, but I add the biggest sweet tooth and I absolutely love tiramisu. Every day that I was out there, I tried a new tiramisu from a different restaurant, and then I just kind of updated my rankings. I have tiramisu all the way from fancy restaurants to McDonald's, so there's a lot to see there. I am going to go in chronological order of when I ate the tiramisu. So we'll start off with the first day. I'll tell you a little bit about the tiramisu, I'll rank it, then we'll go on to the next day, and so on and so forth. I'm excited for you to see what my rankings are, and hopefully you enjoy. Okay, so our very first stop on the tiramisu train is none other than McDonald's. I know some of you guys are gonna get technical. It's not McDonald's, it's McCafe. To me, it's all the same umbrella, and I walked into a McDonald's restaurant and saw tiramisu, so absolutely crazy. Let me actually just back up. I'm kind of just convinced that McDonald's just hates us in America because I have never seen a McDonald's as nice as I did when I was in Rome. Granted, I've been to Italy before. I don't even know if I paid attention to McDonald's when I was in Venice, if they even have McDonald's in Venice, whatever. Roman McDonald's though, the best McDonald's I have ever seen. I'm gonna show you, you have to see this. From the statues, to the grand staircases, to the ordering kiosks, to the McCafe, everything was just top notch, and I really would love to see that in America. So McDonald's, even if at the very least it's just McCafe. Or, a fixed ice cream machine, I'll take it. All right, so back to the tiramisu. Part of me was like, this is McDonald's, should I try it? I decided to get it, obviously, and I was pleasantly surprised. I'm someone who loves a much fluffier cream with my tiramisu, and so having that, and then just the texture of the lady fingers, it was honestly perfect for what I was looking for. It just exceeded my expectations for what tiramisu would look like. Number one, coming from McDonald's or McCafe, but number two, coming from a fast food restaurant or fast food establishment. So we start off the tiramisu charts. McDonald's, you have landed at number 1. Let's see if you can stay there. Next up is a lovely little restaurant called Ristorante Tu Ghiaccio. For some context, I went to Italy on a cohort trip with my MBA program. It was super cool, and there were a lot of restaurants and things that they chose and planned out for us, and this restaurant was one of those. It was for our welcome dinner. I really loved the portion size of the tiramisu. As you can see, it was really large. It took up almost the entire plate. But I did mention before that I do like a much fluffier cream, and this one just wasn't as fluffy for me. Some of that could have been because they were preparing such large quantities for our cohort. So we had the entire restaurant booked out, and they're preparing all of this food for all of these people. So I wonder if some of that may have been it, where you're just trying to mass produce some of that tiramisu, or if there's differences in just kind of how people prepare it, whether that's the more traditional way, or kind of different recipes that people have. I love the portion size. Because the fluffier cream is something that I am looking for when it comes to tiramisu, this one just didn't rank as highly for me. So Ristorante Tu Ghiaccio, you have landed at number 2 on the tiramisu charts. Next, we are transitioning from Rome to Florence. Our next restaurant is called Osteria Pastella. I do just have to say that this was hands down the best food that I ate when I was in Italy. Not just in Rome, not just in Florence, but in all of Italy. This was the best food that I had eaten, and I really can't wait to go back someday. You may have seen them on TikTok or on YouTube or somewhere else for their flambe cheese wheel pasta. I got the truffle pasta. We got this huge Florentine steak. We just got so much food. Champagne, limoncello shots, wine, all of the above. The entire experience from start to finish was amazing. My friends and I had an absolute blast. But this is about the tiramisu. This tiramisu was a little bit different. I had looked up the menu online before I went, and it said that theirs was a deconstructed tiramisu, which when I talked to somebody else, they're like, wasn't tiramisu kind of already deconstructed? Because it's a layer of ladyfinger and then cream, and then you kind of alternate it. But this one was definitely very different. So when we got to the restaurant, it was called the Concept of Tiramisu, which I'm not gonna lie, coming from the US and just kind of recently, we all thought that that was kind of hilarious that it was called the Concept of Tiramisu. I ordered it, obviously, and I really, really enjoyed it. So even though it wasn't your traditional tiramisu, I still found it to be absolutely delicious. It had all of the elements of tiramisu, just presented in a different fashion. One difference that I really, really liked and just kind of added to the experience element, not just of the tiramisu, but of the restaurant overall, was that they actually poured the cream on tableside. Based on how I've talked about this restaurant, you can probably guess where this one lands on the tiramisu charts. Osteria Pastella, my love, you have knocked off McDonald's and landed at #1 on the tiramisu charts. 3 down, 2 more to go. The next tiramisu that I had was at this pasta and tiramisu making class that I did with my friends in Florence. So I actually did a whole video on the pasta and tiramisu making class, shameless plug. So if you want to go and watch and see what we did and how much fun that was, head over to the video. We started off by making the tiramisu. I actually had the opportunity to help make some of the cream. I think I just enjoyed this one so much better because I'm a sucker for something homemade. I love to bake at home, and I haven't made tiramisu at home just yet, but I think I have the confidence to try it now that I've made it in the class. It had that fluffy cream, it had that homemade element, just that sense of like knowing that you made it, and I think that it ended up being really good. Overall, with the experience, with the taste, the pasta and tiramisu making class has landed at #2 on the tiramisu charts. All right, so we have finally come to our last restaurant that I'm gonna rank, and this is one that I went to for my farewell dinner. Forgive me if I say the name wrong, I don't speak Italian, but the name of this restaurant was La Taverna dei Servi Firenze. I kind of had a little bit of a hard time trying to figure out where I wanted this restaurant to land on my rankings. I really enjoyed the cream of the tiramisu, I enjoyed the portion size, I enjoyed the texture. So I think the deciding factor for this one was that they didn't use a ladyfinger. They used something almost like a cake, whether it was like a sponge cake or an angel food cake or something similar. So while the cream and everything was delicious and I really enjoyed this tiramisu, I think that had to be the deciding factor. So this one ended up at #4 on the rankings. Still a great tiramisu, I enjoyed it, but when I compare it to some of the other ones that I had on the list, if I think about Osteria Pastella, even though it wasn't a traditional tiramisu, it was my personal favorite tiramisu. And some of the other ones, this one did kind of come under where I looked at those. So that is all for today's episode of Around the World with Ashley. It brought my heart so much joy to make this video, and of course to eat all of the tiramisu that I could when I was in Italy. Hopefully you enjoyed my tiramisu top 5 rankings, and if you have any suggestions or recommendations for tiramisu that I can get, whether it's in Italy or in the US, please drop them in the comments and let me know. If you have any recommendations for countries that I should visit and rank their traditional desserts, definitely let me know. I am all open to traveling and documenting it and sharing it with you guys on my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.